Hey guys, welcome to Bob Smith Musical Services. This is a little clip we'll call Microphone 101. This will teach you kind of how to use a microphone. Believe it or not, there actually is a way to do it. There's actually a technique involved. It's not just so simple as picking up a microphone and singing into it. We'll get started with mic types. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. I'll try to keep this as short and as simple as I can because I don't want to muddy things too much. The first thing you need to know, though, is about mic types. We kind of have to go there. There are two different mic types that you might encounter in open mic situations. The first type of microphone that you might encounter is an omnidirectional microphone. An omnidirectional microphone has pickup on all sides. There's pickup in the front, where my mouth is now. There's pickup on the sides, and there's pickup in the back. These microphones in open mic situations are deadly. They're terrible for open mic. Think of it. You're in what essentially amounts to a restaurant, right? Where they're serving food, they're serving drink, people are talking, etc., etc. If you're using an omnidirectional microphone, all of that noise, whatever noise is created by the waiters, by the customers themselves, who have every right to make as much noise as they like, all of that noise is going to get in the microphone, all of it, and then it will come out through the speakers and it will amplify and drive everybody nuts. So omnidirectional microphones are just a bad move all the way around for that application. Omnidirectional microphones do have their uses. They're good for electronic news gathering, things of that sort. If you're looking to get sound from a big group of people, an omnidirectional microphone would work in that regard. I said I wasn't going to muddy things, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh well. But at any rate, omnidirectional microphones do have their uses, just not here. The second kind of microphone, the second type of microphone that you will encounter is the type of microphone that I am using right now. It's called a unidirectional microphone. Unidirectional microphones are specifically designed either to talk into or to sing into, and the great thing about unidirectional microphones is that they only pick up in one place. This is particularly useful in noisy situations, or what can be noisy situations, like restaurants, things of that sort. The grill, perfect example, and the other places in which we are grateful to play. Because this microphone only has pickup on the front. If I speak into the side, you can hear a diminishing in volume, and if I speak into the back, you can probably barely hear me at all. So all the pickup that matters is right in the front. So you're not going to get the clanging dishes. You're not going to get customers talking, waiters talking, glasses clanging, etc., etc. None of that will end up coming through the microphone. So ideally, you want a unidirectional microphone. Ideally, you want a unidirectional microphone if you're singing at all. You don't really want an omni for that. You could probably get away with it depending on where you are, but I highly recommend against doing that. Just get a unidirectional microphone. Now, the kinds of microphones that are out there are many, and I'm not going to muddy this further by getting into all the vendors that exist. Any of you who have sung for any length of time are probably well aware of some of them. Sennheiser, further down the list, Audio-Technica, Audix, etc., etc. There's lots of different vendors. What I'm using right now is a Shure microphone. I've played with a lot of different microphones, and I just love the Shures the best. What can I tell you? I think they sound better, they sound fuller, richer, etc., etc. Shure is my preference of microphone at every single turn. This particular microphone, of course, once you start getting into vendors, there are different types. Shure makes many different types of microphone. Just like Sennheiser does, and Audio-Technica does, and Audix, and stuff like that. PV even makes microphones. But this particular microphone is called an SM Beta 58. Yeah. You'll never be able to see it because I'm doing my own camera work from here, so I can't zoom in on it. If I could, I would. But that's exactly what this is. This particular microphone is notable. All beta microphones are notable. Excuse me while I pull off the windscreen. They're notable for the blue ring. That's how you can tell it's a beta microphone. All of their betas look like this. I'm going to put this back on. But at any rate, that's how you can tell. Beta microphones, Shure's beta microphones, Beta 58 specifically, are great because they possess a little bit more high end. This is great if you are a female singer. Because female singers female singers have higher voices than male singers. But I mean, there's also an additional sweeter high end on a female voice. And we have some of you that greatly benefit, whether you know it or not, from the presence of a Beta 58. We are using at the Grill wireless versions of this very microphone. It's exactly the same thing. It's just a wireless version of it. And you all sound fantastic on it. So yeah, you're using Beta 58s there. Robert's microphone is a regular SM58. There is nothing wrong with a regular SM58. That microphone has been around for over 30 years, I think. They've been making that microphone. And microphones don't last for over 30 years if they're not great. That's a great microphone. Robert's, you'll notice, also has a switch on it. It's a choice. That's a choice you can make. I don't love his switch, but he does, so he wins. We have fought about that switch. I hate switches. But I'm an audio engineer. Of course I hate switches because I want all the control. But he wants some of it too, so that's why he likes the switch. And I totally understand it. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. Either one of those microphones is good. You want to be sure. Get it? Sure. You want to be sure that if you're gonna gig in this town, for lack of a better way of putting it, or gig anywhere really, as a singer, you want to be sure that you at least have an SM58, so it looks like you know what you're doing. There are equivalents. At least the other vendors think that they have equivalents to the Shure 58 line, be it Beta 58 or regular 58. And those would probably work fine. You might find that your ears prefer something else. My ears prefer Shure microphones. Maybe your ears like Sennheiser. There are lots of really well-known professional musicians who use Sennheiser microphones, and there's nothing wrong with them. My ears prefer something else, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, buy what you like. Go to the music store, whichever one it is, and try out a bunch of them. Try out a bunch of different microphones. Try out everything they have, for crying out loud. That's what they're there for. They want your money, and they're going to work to get it, and they should. And compare them. Speak into them. Listen to them. Listen to the high end. Listen to the fullness of the microphone. Kind of really get a sense for its sonic signature. Every microphone has its own signature, and you may find that you prefer the signature of a different microphone than I do. And there's nothing that doesn't make you wrong. It just makes you different from me, and there's no problem with that. My ears prefer this. Prefer Shure microphones, all of them, really. They kind of have that sonic signature that I find very, very attractive. Always have. So we're going to get off that now, and now we'll talk about microphone placement. You have a lot of control as a singer, but many of you don't know it. And I'm going to teach you now how to take as much control away from me as possible. You take control from me simply by the way that you handle the microphone. I, as an audio engineer, am responsible for making sure, I did it again, clever, aren't I? I'm responsible for making sure that singers don't blow the roof off the joint, and also that they're not too quiet. So I'm turning you up and down, I'm dealing with compression, if I'm using any at all, reverb, making it sound a little wetter, etc., etc. So I'm doing all of those things while you're singing. I'm going to use reverb on everything. Everything gets a little bit of reverb. It should. Not crazy amounts, but a little bit. There should be a little bit there. Now, of course, if you're doing something like Music of the Night, which requires a very dramatic kind of thing, I want you to sound like you're on a stage, and so I will turn up the reverb to get that from you. So I'm going to toy with reverb regardless, and really you want me to do that. But in terms of volume, you can actually take all of that away from me and do it yourself. And it's always better when you do it because you know what you're going to do. As well as I know our singers, you still know you better than I do, and you know what you're going to do. We kind of joke amongst ourselves, Anthony and I, sometimes with certain singers, we know when you're going to get loud, and so we know the word on which you will get loud, and so we're ready, and we just kind of look at each other and and kind of smile because it's like, oh, you nailed it, But still, having said all of that, you still know yourself better than we do. So you're in a better position to control your volume. And here's how you do it. It's really, really simple. The way that you do it is just by doing this. As need be, if you start to get loud, you pull the microphone away from your mouth, and as you get quieter, you bring it in. It's really, really simple. It's a little thing that you can do to control your own volume and control the intensity of your own voice. You don't even have to have me doing it. You can do it yourself, and that's how. Just simply, as you get louder, you pull the mic away, and as you get quieter, you pull it closer to you. Now, the good news is that a lot of you actually do this instinctively. Even Robert. Robert, of course, is an experienced singer who's been doing this for decades. But Robert will do it. Even though his microphone is on a stand, you'll notice that as he gets louder, he'll back up. He'll back himself away from his mic stand. You can see him do it. It's an instinctive thing. It's not something that was taught to him. He instinctively does it. I notice that I instinctively do it as well. And many of you do. But there are some of you who don't. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to share with you that there is a way that you can control your own volume and make yourself sound as good as you can. And really, that's what the whole point of this video is to make you sound the best you can. It's the whole reason that we're at the grill. It's the whole reason I'm sitting there at the audio board working, or Anthony is. We're all just trying to make you sound the best you can, from piano playing on down. That's our whole thing. And so that's really what this video is for. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at it. I don't think the windscreen. I was going to tell you what windscreens. This will be real quick. It'll go by like nothing. So you'll notice that this has one. You saw me pull it off and put it back on. Windscreens are great for plosives, overactive P's. When I say P into the microphone, you're going to notice that I did it, but it's not going to be weird. If I take this windscreen off, which I'll do now, and I say P into the microphone, you're going to hear it a little more clearly. It's going to kind of overdrive a little bit, P. The windscreen is great, as you just heard, for eliminating that. Not necessarily eliminating it, but making it a little bit more palatable. I'll put it back on. So you'll note that all of our microphones have them already installed and ready to go. There are little windscreens on the insides of these. This is what's on this microphone. It's just a replacement in case something goes wrong. But there's a little bit of foam on the inside of this anyway. But this is a lot more. There's a lot more foam here, a lot more nylon here to keep the plosives out. These windscreens, like the one that's on this microphone, you can get them for like $4, less than that even. They're nothing. They're not expensive at all, but they make all the difference in the world. Robert does not like windscreens because he thinks that it takes away from, the intimacy with the microphone and that sort of thing. And I understand what he's getting at, but I prefer it to sound really good. And the way that you get that, at least with my experience, is that you use windscreens. All of our mics, any mic that you use from us will always have a windscreen on it because it sounds better that way. Another way it's useful to me too is that I can tell which microphone is in use simply by looking at the color. So I know that, for instance, the microphone with the red windscreen is microphone number 1, so I'll always know. So it helps there too. It serves a couple of different purposes. but mostly it's about sonic integrity. It's mostly about making you sound good. So we're going to use windscreens all the time. We've always done it, and we'll continue to do that. So I guess that covers it. I don't think I left anything out. Hopefully that answers all of your questions. I certainly mean for it to. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody about microphones. I've done it several times. If you're looking to purchase microphones or looking to purchase sound equipment or whatever, I'm always available to help with that. I'm kind of our sound guru. And I love looking through catalogs and looking at technical specs and things like that. So I'm as up on everything as I can be, with as quickly as it all changes. But I'm up on quite a bit of it. So hopefully I can be of some use to you. And I'm perfectly willing to try to do that, of course. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. And we'll see you at the piano.